Aloha. Welcome to our station in outer space. My name is Tiki C. We're starting a new video series. My goal is to convert at least 50 space blueprints, but not exactly like I was doing before. I'm looking for player-made space bases that I can convert into points of interest, or POIs. I'm also looking for CVs that I can convert into POIs, or orbital patrol vessels, OPVs. Orbital patrol vessels will move in space, while points of interest will be stationary. You're still going to see me convert these blueprints using destroyed blocks, like I've done in my older videos. But I'll be converting them into derelict space stations, debris from space battle, or maybe an OPV. Sometimes you may see me convert them into hostile POIs with spawners, loot crates, and active turrets. Maybe there's a room with a bunch of Xerax. Maybe there's a room with xenomaterial and abominations. Maybe there's a trapdoor into a spider pit. It'll be a surprise for the player, but shh, only you and I will know. The only rules I have are: 1. The blueprint has to be undersized class 21. This is for performance reasons for servers and clients. 2. No copyrighted or trademarked material. Think Star Wars or Star Trek. There's a slight risk that a corporation will issue a takedown notice if a scenario includes a copyrighted or trademarked design. I don't want to cause any problems, and I support our scenario designers. 3. Remove player hints. This means things like signs or symbols. For example, put a thruster here or an upgrade there. The thought is that these bases or ships were sold to an owner and then transferred owners multiple times over the years. They've been in service for a long time, so the owners would have removed any stock labels from a factory and either did the upgrade or something different or walled it off completely. I will take the blueprint and fast forward it through time. And 4, minimal modification of LCD work and signaling. I'll only remove hints or floating parts and keep the original language on signage. So, okay, let's get started. I've searched through the most popular blueprints of all time on the Steam Workshop, and I found some to convert today. Each blueprint will be converted so that it can be used as a space POI and be compatible with the vanilla game and every scenario. That means I'm not going to use any scenario-specific blocks, so all of my conversions will be universally compatible. I will spawn each blueprint in this creative game, take a quick tour of each, remove random devices and blocks, apply random damage, replace blocks with destroyed or trust blocks, maybe put some spawners or hidden treasure in, paint on some debris, save, and celebrate. Today, we will start with 2 blueprints from master level designers, and we're going to convert each one 2 different ways. Starting with the Odeillo station by Garaman. You can find him on the Anvil Discord and the Elion Discord, answering questions and sharing his knowledge with the community. We're going to convert this base into a space wreck, and then we're going to convert this copy into a hostile POI. Original, space wreck, hostile POI. Next, we have the Zeus from Movado. Movado has an impressive body of work and a collection of helpful YouTube videos. The Zeus was used by Spange as his mobile base on one of his recent playthroughs. We're going to convert this CV into a hostile orbital patrol vessel, and then we're going to convert a copy into a hostile base POI. Original, OPV, POI. Think of these as examples of what we can do when we convert Steam Workshop blueprints into prefabricated blueprints that we can use in the game. Links to these blueprints can be found in the description below. Thank you to all of the authors for their artistic works and their contributions to the community. A special thank you goes out to Elion for the empyriongalacticsurvival game. And to all of the scenario authors, thank you for creating new ways for all of us to enjoy this game. Are you ready? Here we go. And we're done converting Odeillo station into a wreck, if you will, abandoned station. So a couple notes on this. I did a little hole here, like a railgun strike or a rocket strike, and I really enjoyed doing the floating debris. I haven't been able to do that on my conversions so far based on the planets. So I get blown straight through here, some bent steel and more debris coming out the back, so that was fun to do. I also did just a chip off of the edge here with the dirt and debris, just texturing on that. Again, having little pieces flying out in the back. I did try replacing these arms, but the problem is that I don't have that double wall block on the destroyed block palette. I'm limited to what I can do with destroyed blocks, so I left that alone because I didn't want it to look strange. And blew a hole in the side here. I have to convert these to destroyed blocks. I went straight through and did some more debris floating around there. I tried to remove the furnace, but there is a custom LCD lighting in there with like an energy beam, so I left that alone, but did damage that. And let's see, let's just go through the top here. There's been multiple owners over time, and some of them are filthy, so there's dirt all over the floor. And this was a lot of fun. There's something moldy in the fridge, and everything is gross. So that I like to look at that one. Go down here a little bit more. This room just has some overall damage due to that explosive entry. And down here in this room, got that strike that goes all the way through and a bunch of damage in here as well. So when the player finds this, they have the option of fixing it up and making their own base, or just stripping it down for parts. So this would work great in like a Star Salvage orbit scenario, or Reforged Eden in any of the space or orbit sectors. It's powered off, everything is shut down, so when they find it, they have to do some work to get it back up. I did save this as BAOJ Odeillo Station. I gotta say that right, Odeillo. And then the group name is BAO Workshop Junk. This is gonna be my standard work name, or group name for conversions from the workshop into junk, and the same name as it has on the workshop. When I look at it and hit Alt-O, I made sure to click on Save Damaged States when I saved the blueprint. So next, we are going to convert it into a POI. POI conversion is complete. This took about half the time compared to the wrecked version. If you don't want any spoilers, please skip ahead to the next video. So the story is that there's a 4-man crew stationed here, 1 commander and 3 soldiers. After the Xerax took it over, they installed some extra security measures. This is a pretty straightforward conversion. I added some turrets and sentries, spawners, sensors, and some treasure. And I tried to stay true to the artist's vision and maintain their color and texture palette when I replace normal blocks with destroy blocks. Or if I have to replace a block, for example, to put some sort of podium underneath this gun leg. So it's not perfect. I'm not a master designer, so apologies to the artist. Just trying to convert this best as I can to a POI. So I just added some truss there for trying to get a firing position from all different directions. Except there is a blind spot if you approach from this direction and maybe park right in the dish. Anyways, I don't want to give too much away. Strategy. It's all part of the fun of coming in here. So if you do take out these laser turrets and park here with your SV and you start walking in, the gravity is going to be on, by the way. The whole station will be on. So let me get out of God mode. So let's just assume that a player is coming in and they're going into this door. I kept all the door codes on. They get ambushed by those 2 sentries. Have to take them out. Go down, and then this is where another spawner is triggered right in this elevator. I put the sensor to extend up here. So when they come down, this minigunner should be spawned already from this teleporter. So there's a battle there. The only thing I changed in here was I changed this to a bunk bed to accommodate 4 people. So 2 up here and 2 downstairs. And then as you go down this elevator, it also triggers another sensor, and there's another person that's going to spawn down here. There's an invisible spawner here. Now, normally invisible spawners are frowned upon because you shouldn't see people spawn in front of you. But this one should spawn while you're in the elevator shaft and drop down, and they should be on the ground there and then see you and start shooting. So that shouldn't be a problem, but hey, who knows? Players can attack and enter from any direction. So I try to limit the amount of invisible spawners I use. Anyways, keep going. That's it. The rest is the same in this room. Go down here, and then there's a spawner here. Again, it should trigger when you're in the elevator shaft going down. I just one dude here. Everything's the same in this one. And then again, the sensor is triggered when you're going down the elevator. And then that should spawn the commander and that sentry right there. I put this deconstructor in the way to obstruct the view of what's behind it. But the player might catch that sentry out of their eye, and I'm not sure if the sentry is going to shoot through that crack. So they'll be able to get in there. There's that sensor for this one. So they'll come in here, they'll see that guy, and they'll see that sentry. There'll be a battle. And then the core is right there. It's reinforced a little bit, but you can shoot in that little section right there. This is an NPC core. It's not a normal core. And once you blow that, win. Now there's 2 hidden treasures. We got another room down here to accommodate the other staff. But the trapdoor is right here for the treasure. So if I put my jetpack on, I can see it right there. And then same thing on the other side behind that. You can just barely see it over there if you catch it. But you won't be able to catch it from any other angle. And you have to get behind this gravity generator and the deconstructor anyway to get over there. I think maybe you can jump. Oh yeah, you can. Well, what do you know? So you can't get up there. So 2 treasure chests. I removed the markings for the tier 3 CPU and the constructor deconstructor because they've been living here for a while, and I don't think they need the hints, if you will. I kept this flavor text on. That was pretty cool. So that is that. So I saved this as BAJ Odeillo station instead of BAOJ. I should have actually BAO, not BAJ. My bad. Base orbit, not base junk. Okay. And then I'm using the BAO workshop group name instead of BAO Workshop Junk, and it's going to spawn as its own name. Now I'm going to look at that, hit Alto. I didn't do any damage. I'm just going to overwrite it. And that's the correct one. That is the correct one. Good. Okay, great. So this one is done. So this was fun. Now, I know this station inside and out now from looking at the original, converting it to a rec, and then converting it to a POI. So, but it's a blast to do this kind of work. So I really appreciate it. So thank you so much, Garaman, for the willingness to let me convert this. I appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the Zeus from Movado. Movado has an impressive body of work. So, as I mentioned earlier, he's got a collection of helpful YouTube videos. I watched them myself to learn through new things about the game. There's always something new to learn about the game. So what we're going to do now is we're going to convert this original to an OPV, and then we're going to convert it to a POI. The process for converting it to an OPV, just to speak ahead a little bit, is all I'm going to do is put an NPC core in there, and then put some turrets in a nutshell. So it'll still be a CV, and I'll turn everything on when I save it, so that when we see it in game, it should be flying around and possibly shooting at you, depending upon what faction it's set to and how friendly or hostile you are for the faction. So for example, if this is a pirates faction, which would make sense for this, and it was taken over by the pirates, if you're friendly with the pirates, they're not going to fire on you. But if you're unfriendly, then you're going to get in a fight with this thing. So that is that. And as you know with OPVs, if you board it and then you blow out the core and you put your own core in, you won't be able to fly it. It's a limitation of the game. If you try to get into the cockpit or the captain's seat, it'll give you a message about security protocols, and you won't be able to fly it. But it'll be fun to see this in the game as a ship flying around. And for the POI, that's going to be a little more challenging. So let's cross that bridge when we get to it, and let's start working this OPV. Okay, we are done with the OPV conversion. I added some more loot containers off screen, and there are more hidden surprises in here. You also saw me remove a few LCDs that were directed towards the player. Since the ship has been taken over, it doesn't make sense to have those. And then you saw me add some laser, rocket, and ion cannons. This ship is really mean, so if you see one or two, watch out when you approach them. It moves, it shoots, the spawners and the sentries work. Okay, and it's ready to go. Sorry about the mic issues, I was having some OBS problems, but we are now done with this OPV. So, test is successful. Now let's move on to converting this to a POI. So for this one, what we have to do is we have to convert the CV to a base. In order to do that, well, one way to do that is to use the base starter block and put it underneath, spawn it, and then copy the entire CV onto the base block. So you're going to see me do that during the fast forward here. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is actually copy the existing OPV and paste onto the block instead of starting with the vanilla one, because I've already done all these modifications to it. And then I'll do some more on there. For the for this POI version, it's not going to move, so I need a story as to why it's not going to move. So I'm going to disable or take out the engines and do some damage around those areas to give it a story to explain why it's not moving. All right, so I'm going to go through this and fast forward it. Okay, we are done converting the Zeus into a POI. So for this one, again, I just copied over the OPV onto a base block and turned it into a base, if you will. I changed the spawners and the treasure around a bit just to mix it up. And I had some fun here. On this room, I blew out the wall explosively into the vacuum of space. We've got all the furniture going on there, so that was fun. I did some overall damage around the whole thing. I removed all the engines and put like truss blocks, placeholders, just like I used to do in Star Salvage. This HV bay blew out the door, and there's fragments and debris everywhere, so that was nice, fun to do. Kept the guns. I did a hole right here from a railgun straight through. That was fun. I like doing those. And yeah, so this one is ready to go as a base. I kept the garden intact, like the garden, and I gotta say it, I love the pool. This is so nice. Let's go for a dip in here. Nice swim. I like that. Anyways, this one is done. It is saved as BAO Zeus under the BAO workshop, and it's going to spawn in the game as Zeus, just like the OPV. It'll also be Zeus, but the OPV will be moving and the base will not, and they'll be slightly different. Also, the core is hidden in here, so it'll be an adventure for the player to find, unless you watched and you're getting spoilers right now. So this is done, and this was fun. I should give it another save here. I'm gonna look at it and hit Alt-O, save damage states, overwrite. We're done. We've converted see 2 blueprints from the workshop in 2 different ways. So again, I just wanted to show you examples of what you can do with the Steam Workshop blueprints, converting them into prefabs that we can use in the game. More POIs means more fun for all of us players. So thank you so much, Movado. Thank you, Garaman. I appreciate it, and we will see all of you again soon on the next episode. Have a great day.